discoveries.
And a gym just for kids.
Traffic lights get heavy use, and the bulbs need replacing about every 6 months. But these lights will go on working for 10 years. They are the first in the world to be powered by a long-lasting light bulb. It contains a light-emitting diode made from a man-made product called gallium nitride. You may know of diodes that emit red light, like the ones on your bicycle rear lamp. But there has never been a light-emitting diode that will emit blue light. Well, now there is. The new technology is really energy efficient. The bulbs only consume 10% of the power of ordinary light bulbs. It takes 2 power stations like this one to run all the traffic lights in Britain. Using more energy efficient bulbs should reduce this demand, cutting carbon dioxide pollution. This means that the amount of power that you have to generate in a power station for lighting will go down by 90%. The great thing is, if you coat this light-emitting diode with white phosphor, you can get intense white light. The light-emitting diodes that are being developed by scientists could create a domestic light bulb that will last 100 times longer than a normal light bulb. Other exciting possibilities to come from the technology include more efficient mobile phones and a new generation of compact discs that can hold up to 10 times the information they are now capable of. And in a few years, instead of having teeth drilled, we'll have decay removed accurately and hopefully painlessly using blue laser light.
When you look at a map, have you ever wondered how makers get everything so accurate? Recently, a mapping company produced a complete aerial photographic survey using high-definition film. It can focus on anything from a city to a cricket player on a pitch. The flying photographic team took snaps of the whole country using a specially designed camera, capable of capturing images on a scale from 1 to 2000. When complete, the process will produce a seamless photographic map. With traditional mapping, you don't get a lot of detail about the ground. If you get a green area on a map, you have no idea if it's trees, grassland or wasteland. The great thing about a photograph is that it shows you exactly what's there. The aerial mapping has even discovered some ancient sites. One settlement called Crompton Scorpion, which was an original Domesday settlement, can be seen in the photograph. You can see the outline of the village, which has now disappeared, and now there's just a manor house left. Photographs enable you to see shapes of the roofs, the type of trees, and all the details you don't ever see on a map. The photographic map can be used by both the private and public sector, for local government planning and development, to education and teaching research. The map can also be used to analyse land for floods, to look at damage to coastal regions, and to monitor habitat. You could even take a look at the land you want to buy and its surroundings with this type of mapping. In fact, the uses for the map seem huge, and with the aim of putting the details on the internet, it sure makes map reading a whole lot more interesting.
It's not a pleasant procedure, but the techniques shown here are carried out in hospitals daily. An endoscope containing a bundle of fibre optic cables is used by doctors to take a closer look at the patient's internal organs. Up to 2 metres of flexible tubing is swallowed or inserted to obtain detailed images of the gut. But in future, such devices could be replaced by a much smaller one, a tiny capsule endoscope. It's about the size of a fairly big antibiotic capsule. You just pop it in your mouth and swallow it down, and once it's gone down there, you don't feel anything. The capsule measures less than 1 centimetre by 3 centimetres, and it's easy for the patient to swallow. After it leaves the mouth, natural contractions carry it down the gullet, through the stomach, and into the small bowel. In order to receive the images, you have to wear a belt across the tummy. The images are downloaded into a recorder. It's about the size of a personal stereo, so you can just walk around with it. The capsule is uninfected by digestive juices and can record up to 6 hours of high-quality pictures as the patient continues their life as normal, if you can call walking around with a camera in your stomach normal. The images are examined later by doctors for abnormalities. Already 20 volunteers have tested the capsule to make sure it's safe. It's hoped it will be widely available for general use within a year. According to some scientists, this is just the beginning. Now, I won't go into details about how this very expensive piece of technology comes out, but I'm sure you have a pretty good idea. All in the name of science.
Falling in love is an all-embracing experience. Fluttering in the stomach, a pounding heart, and mood swings from happiness to sadness are all common symptoms of being in love. Sounds complicated, doesn't it? You may have heard that Cupid's arrows pierce the heart, but it's the brain that really controls these feelings. Researchers have been looking at what's going on in the brains of 17 students in the first flush of romantic love. They used magnetic imaging to see which part of these lovesick students' brains were most active when they saw images of their beloved. The findings were surprising. Seeing pictures of their loved one switched on particular areas of the students' brains that were not active when they looked at pictures of friends. Thank goodness, really. These include areas associated with the gut feelings. On the other hand, there was reduced activity in the part of the brain associated with depression. Surprisingly, the part of the brain responsible for vision and face recognition was not activated. It was as if the love responses were all happening at a deeper level. The scientists admit there's little practical use from the research, but it could be helpful in areas of further study.
This is face and object recognition. This is sort of the detailed environment.
It could also help us understand the sweaty, clammy, gushy side of love, or a small step towards understanding the workings of the most wonderful machine in the world, the human brain.
Space research is responsible for a range of mechanical equipment we use every day. NASA's need for a tool to take samples from beneath the surface of the moon led to the development of the battery-powered drill. Seeing the interest in that tool, the private sector used the technology for an array of power tools, including the cordless screwdriver, the portable vacuum cleaner, and battery-powered video cameras and telephones. What about the lunar rover? It was used by astronauts to get around the moon. After seeing its one-handed driving system, one man asked if it could be modified for use by the physically disabled, and it was. The uni-stick driving system requires one hand on the control to accelerate, turn, and brake. The spacesuit has also provided some interesting and life-saving technology into our world. The development of better breathing equipment for firefighters has helped to decrease the number of smoke injuries while allowing firefighters to get further into burning buildings and take greater control of the blaze. Technology developed for use on Skylab in the 70s has been used to develop the sophisticated smoke and fire detectors found in virtually every home and office. This technology was also used to develop a portable blood pressure measuring system and infrared thermometer, which measures your body temperature through your eardrum in 2 seconds or less. To explore the new realms of space, new materials were required to keep explorers safe. Those materials have been put to use here on Earth. A thin polyester film used on the Echo 1 satellite and then to line the Apollo spacecrafts and suits is now available as the space blanket. Originally meant to keep radiation away from the body, the film also works to retain heat radiation by the body, making a perfect lightweight emergency blanket. Spacesuit technology intended to keep astronauts from getting too hot is the idea behind the cool vest, used by children born without sweat glands. Believe it or not, bicycle helmets. Yes, another spin-off from space research. The composite materials of many helmets worn by bicycle racers and pleasure riders are descendants from NASA. The research on material and aerodynamics has been adapted from the aerofoil designs to reduce drag on fighter planes. And you know your new tennis shoes? Even that bounce can be traced to astronaut moon boots. Scratch-resistant sunglasses? Yep, another one. Can you imagine life without computers? Imagine no internet or MP files. While some developments in microcomputer technology are not direct creations of NASA research, the speed of their development got a boost from the space program. Technology used to enhance the pictures of the moon is now at work in magnetic imaging. Even amusement roller coasters have been developed from astronaut training programs and flight simulators. And there's more on the way. Created as a flight experiment to grow large three-dimensional clusters of cells during space flights, the bioreactor provides an environment here on Earth where three-dimensional clusters of delicate tissue can be grown outside the human body. Samples can be used for medical treatments for illnesses or injuries and for the medical research on such diseases as cancer or AIDS. The implantable device, with just one moving part, is used to assist a weak heart until a transplant becomes available, or, in some cases, makes a transplant unnecessary. This method of preserving blood samples from astronauts in space is the idea behind the dry blood chemistry method. With this, faster analysis of blood samples can be obtained on Earth without the need for a bulky powered freezer. Development in growing food in space has led to artificial soil, which doesn't need fertilizer. This means no runoff from chemical byproducts when you water your garden. With all this amazing technology the space program has provided, we have developed a better and more efficient world to live in today. Let's look forward to the next installment to come.
When you think of Thailand, you don't usually think of five-star healthcare, but a hospital in Bangkok is providing just that and attracting patients from all around the world. Some people come to Thailand for the elephant rides, others come for a relaxing break by the beach, but more and more people are coming for health holidays, taking advantage of the first-class medical care that is on offer. The major provider of this care is Bumrungrad Hospital in Bangkok. Patients claim it's more like a five-star hotel than a hospital. Bumrungrad is one of the largest private hospitals in Southeast Asia, treating more than 500,000 patients each year. More than 130,000 of these patients come from outside Thailand. The majority of foreign patients come from neighbouring countries where the healthcare system is not as advanced, such as Bangladesh and Cambodia. But many people from America and Australia are now travelling to Thailand for specialist care or cosmetic surgery at a fraction of the cost. People are very surprised when they come into an environment that is truly 5-star in terms of its comfort. Casey Lippert is one of those thousands of expats who come to Thailand for healthcare. Originally from the United States, she now lives in Bangladesh. Her family couldn't survive without frequent health visits to Bangkok. Her daughter Melissa is being treated for skin problems in this latest visit.
But this one will help to clear up the pimple faster.
Apart from first-class health facilities and medical equipment, Bumrungrad also offers all the services you would expect from a hotel.
Thanks.
Patients are greeted by a personal assistant on arrival who takes care of admissions and appointments. Accommodation can be arranged for relatives at the hospital's very own service departments. Patients can have internet access to their room, order food from a special menu which caters for various religious groups. You can even get a milkshake delivered to your hospital bed. This sure is one hospital that makes not feeling well into a real holiday.
With obesity such a problem around the world, a gym owner has found what he thinks might be a solution to the problem. He has opened a gymnasium specifically designed for young, overweight kids.
I want to see your arms moving. Take your hands off there, please. And move your feet
The
back.
machines are mini versions of those one would find in an adult gym, but specifically designed to prevent children from hurting themselves. Total Youth Fitness caters to children aged 6 to 16 years old, and its aim is to produce strong and physically active kids. The child obesity epidemic is being blamed on unhealthy diets, overeating, and declining physical education in school. With the amazing new computer games available, experts also say modern-day kids are spending more and more time in front of their computers rather than running around and burning off calories.
Again.
Some fear a gym geared to children will make the kids too conscious of their figures at too early an age, a criticism rejected by the gym's founder, who claims that by losing weight, the youngsters gain in confidence. Medical sources say the number of overweight children in the United States has doubled in the past 20 years, with at least 1 in every 4 children being 20% above the ideal weight. Overweight children tend to develop problems of heart disease, hypertension and depression. So get those bodies moving.
For just a few hours every week, a small group of children have been gathering in Jerusalem to prove their surrounding world wrong. They have shown that amidst the violent Israeli-Palestinian conflict, there can be racial harmony. Weekly practice for the children of the Jerusalem circus is no clowning matter. These 15 children are practicing not just circus acts, but a different view of the future. A future as a joined society where Israelis and Palestinians can live in harmony. At least Alicia Tobias, the organiser of the Jerusalem Circus, believes in her creation of a peaceful environment. This is a place where the violence outside is forgotten for one moment, she says, and 15 school children are proving she may be right. For most Israelis and Palestinians, as well as for many students, it is almost impossible now to imagine a future free from violent conflict. The pupils of Tobias School say they don't talk politics much, and some say their future is likely to remain dominated by constant strife between the two divided populations. But the same children have begun working with each other, crossing the divide that has affected the land they live in. Tobias started the Jerusalem Circus a year ago. A non-profit organisation, the circus teaches children circus skills with the ultimate aim of performing in Israel and the West Bank. The circus school soon proved popular with the Israeli and Arab communities in and around Jerusalem. The children are from as diverse backgrounds as their trainers, one of whom is a Russian immigrant and former circus performer, and the other a Palestinian actor. The Israeli children come from immigrant and conservative backgrounds as well as left-wing homes, and the Arab children come from Israeli, Arab and Palestinian communities in and around Jerusalem. The circus children intend starting circus performances in the next few months and are busy perfecting a mix of coordinated and individual acts. Despite the violence, there is still hope to perform street circus acts in front of Israelis and in the West Bank.
The growth in the use of gyms and fitness centres is a worldwide craze. The Sports Industry 2001 exhibition is an example of all that is new in fitness gear and health products. Gyms are an increasingly popular leisure pursuit around the world. The Fitness First chain started 8 years ago and is now gyms throughout Europe and Asia, and turned in a profit of £12.8 million sterling last year. In a bid to make people fitter and healthier, some governments are considering bringing in a scheme to encourage doctors to refer patients for exercise. Some of the apparatus seen in today's gyms look relaxing, some more like torture equipment. But there is every sign that the appeal of modern gyms will continue to grow.